Watch this. This entire podcast was edited by AI in under 30 seconds. Every cut, every camera switch, dead air removed, filler words gone. All automatic. No human touched the timeline. Same with music video. Drop a track and bam. And in a moment I will show you something that made my bro say, "This is impossible." But first, let me explain why this matters to you. You are a creative monster and you have a million ideas per minute. But when it comes to actually sitting down, opening the editor and putting it all together after a long day, you get a headache. You stare at the screen and think, not this again. This video is for you, because you no longer have to do any of that. Kitty app does it for you. And I mean actually does it. Not suggests, not recommends. It sits down, opens the timeline, and edits. Available on druidcat.com. Kitty AI Studio now has a fully working AI agent that generates and edits videos on your behalf. Drop a song from Suno, a few clicks, and your music video is ready. Got a pile of raw footage but no idea where to start? Hand it to the agent and it will analyze everything for you. Recorded interviews or running a podcast? Drop the files in and in a few minutes you have a video ready to upload with all the off-topic rambling, dead air, repetitions, camera shakes and garbage cut out exactly the way you want. This is mass content creation, ready to go. Your assistant, your tool. We just chat. And let me be clear, this is not another LLM running loose giving you AI slop just to grab your attention. This is over 500,000 lines of precisely engineered code that guides the AI step by step through the editing process, exactly like a human editor would do it. It follows editing principles, suggests improvements, and makes corrections automatically. Need 5 TikTok shorts in an hour? Show the agent what you want and they will be ready before you finish your coffee. This is probably the first AI video editing agent in the world this advanced, and I did not even cover most of what it is capable of. Let me show you. This is DruidCat, welcome to my course. In my previous video, I showed you how Kitty AI Studio makes everything right-click and bam. Lip sync, upscale, captions, color grading, export, all 1 or 2 clicks away. If you have not seen that one, link is in the description. Now I got AI agent that does all this for you. What amazing times we live in. Let me show you how it works. We start simple. First, we need API keys. You can find detailed instructions on the website. The key can be generated on druidcat.com in the dashboard. For full functionality, you will also need an 11 Labs key. This allows you to create text-to-speech, sound effects, and music. I have a character, a reference image. I open the AI agent panel and I tell it, create an animation with this character. That is it. That is my entire input. The agent immediately finds the reference in the media library. It understands the context, it checks the project settings, and it starts planning. We click on the planned blocks, and everything is already prompted exactly how we wanted. The workflow is set. The model is chosen. The estimated cost is right there. No surprises. We hit generate. Progress bar in the media panel. A moment later, done. Our animation created by Kling, looking exactly like what we asked for. Now we tell the agent to place it on the timeline. 1 word. Continue. It already knows the next step. It remembers the plan. It follows through. We export. Multiple formats, resolutions, aspect ratios. Click and done. Image to animation to timeline to export. A few messages in the chat. That is all it took. But this was the easy one. Now let us do something more interesting. A music video. And honestly, this is where it gets wild. I drop a song into the project. I upload my character references. The main cat, the sidekick, the narrator, myself. I switch to portrait mode for TikTok. I open the AI agent and paste a detailed prompt describing the entire music video, story, characters, mood, technical details. Here is where the agent really shines. First, it runs advanced audio structure analysis. It precisely breaks the song into sections: intro, verse, chorus, bridge, outro. This is not a rough guess. The segmentation is remarkably accurate, and it helps both the agent and you navigate through the song. The agent then divides the video into blocks synchronized to these music sections. It suggests what each block should contain. It checks shot variety, makes sure you are not getting the same camera angle twice in a row, alternates between wide shots and close-ups, speeds up the pacing for the chorus and slows it down for the verse. It tells you the plan before doing anything. You review, adjust if needed, and when you say continue, it executes. You can produce these music videos almost like a factory line. Drop a song from Suno, paste your creative brief, and the agent builds the whole thing. The more detail you give, the better the result. But even with minimal input, you get something solid. It amplifies your creativity. The human touch still matters, but the heavy lifting is automated. Now let me show you something really practical. Real footage analysis. I recorded some clips from my balcony. Pigeons. A mother feeding her chick in a nest. But the footage is messy. Shaky shots, out of focus, random garbage frames where I was still setting up the camera. We have all been there. I drop all the clips into the media library. I tell the agent, find stable shots of the pigeon, especially where it is feeding the chick. If you find them, place them on the timeline. The agent analyzes every clip, evaluates stability, focus, content quality, identifies which segments are usable and which are garbage, places only the good parts on the timeline. The result? Mother feeding the youngling right at the start, more pigeon shots, close-ups, morning routines, all selected automatically from messy raw footage. Is it perfect every time? No. It is still an LLM with limitations. But for quick social media edits, for sorting through hours of footage to find the gold, it saves you enormous amounts of time. And with every update, it gets smarter. Now, this all sounds too good to be true, right? There have to be some limits, and you are right, there are. The biggest one is file size. AI models cannot analyze a 70 megabyte raw video file directly. That is just how LLMs work today. They have input limits. So if you are working with big heavy files straight from your camera, the agent cannot just swallow them whole. But here is the thing. The app has a built-in transcoder. When you import large files, it detects them automatically and offers to compress them down. A quick transcode and your files are small enough for the AI to analyze efficiently and cheaply. For social media content, you do not need pixel-perfect raw quality anyway. A transcoded file looks identical on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube Shorts. Nobody will notice the difference. And here is the smart part. For podcasts and interviews, the agent analyzes the audio, not the video, so you can keep your original high-quality video files untouched. The transcription and edit planning runs on the audio track, which is tiny. Your final export uses the original full-quality footage. Best of both worlds. So yes, there are limits, but the app is designed around them. The ideal workflow is still a hybrid. Let the AI do the heavy analysis and rough assembly. You do the fine-tuning. Best of both worlds. Now the feature I am most excited about, and this is the one I promised you earlier, the one that made my bro say this, is impossible. Automatic podcast and interview editing. You recorded an interview with 2 cameras and a separate audio recorder. You drop all 3 files into the project. The agent places each camera on its own video track with linked audio. It puts your reference audio on a separate track at the bottom. You click Sync Audio in the toolbar, and the app aligns everything perfectly to the reference recording. Then you tell the agent to continue. Here is what happens next. It runs 11 Labs Scribe for word-level transcription with speaker diarization. It knows exactly who said what and when, down to the millisecond. Then it sends this data to our AI for intelligent edit planning. Dead air, filler words, off-topic tangents, false starts, and repeated explanations, all identified and marked for removal. The agent presents you with the edit plan, total duration, how much will be cut, what stays, what goes, you approve, and then in one single operation, it razor cuts through all tracks vertically, removes the garbage, switches cameras to whoever is speaking using the actual word-level diarization data, not guessing, actual data, links everything together, closes all the gaps, and delivers a tight professional podcast edit. One click. There is something deeply satisfying about watching the AI cut your interview into clean, precise blocks at exactly the places where you would have cut them yourself. Except it took 30 seconds instead of 3 hours. Here is how a podcast edit by the agent looks in practice.
AI right now is very good at patterns, but it doesn't understand why a cut matters emotionally.
But do clients care? Like, if it's cheaper and faster, won't they just go with AI anyway?
Yeah, that's the real pressure point. For low-budget content? Absolutely. Social media clips? Corporate stuff. AI will dominate there.
So editors lose jobs.
Some will, yeah. Or they'll have to adapt.
Adapt how?
More like becoming creative directors rather than just editors, using AI as a tool instead of competing with it.
And now a fun fact for you. Did you know that cats spend roughly 70% of their lives sleeping? That means a cat that lives for 15 years has only been awake for about 4.5 years. Meanwhile, this AI agent just edited a 4-minute podcast in under 30 seconds while your cat took another nap. If only we could get cats to be this productive. I ship new features to this app every single week. If you do not want to miss what comes next, you know what to do. So let me put this in perspective. Kitty AI Studio is a free app. You only pay pennies for AI generation. No subscriptions, no monthly charges. And now with the AI agent, you do not even need to know how to edit. You describe what you want. The agent plans it, generates it, places it, cuts it, syncs it, and delivers it. This is Kitty AI Studio with AI Agent, available now at druidcat.com. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. Support the channel on Patreon, where you will find updated comfy UI scripts and access to the Discord community. Everything you ask for, if it makes sense, will eventually appear on the platform. This is built for you. Drop a comment. Your feedback shapes what gets built. Visit druidcat.com and explore new tools almost every day. See you soon, hey.
Cats a meow, meow on the dance floor. Cats a meow, meow on the dance floor. The druid poster